Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm near a main road and I'm near a duck pond, so hopefully you can hear me through the cars and the ducks and all that stuff. I'm doing something slightly different for my channel today. I've been inspired by what BADisRAD2 has been doing on her channel, which was going around her hometown filming all these weird and spooky locations, and I got myself a guidebook, Strange Mission, which is where I'm from. I brought it with me because I need to keep on reading it because I'm old and I keep on forgetting stuff. So today we are at a haunted house which is just there. I just want to say that this video again was inspired by BADisRAD2. Sorry about all the noise. I will have a channel link down below, so please check her out. I will try to do my best with this. I'm not sure how rad or bad it's going to be. It's probably going to be more bad than rad, to be honest. Sorry if I'm shouting. I've got to shout because of all the noise. And also a bit of ground rules as well for this video. I won't be invading people's privacy. I actually won't be filming anyone directly. Well, apart from if they want me to. And if someone comes out of this building, because this building is a business. If someone comes out and tells me to basically bugger off or actually go away, I will respect them and I will move at a distance and film this at a distance. But I don't really want to bother people when they're working, because this is a active business. You know, it's not home anymore, it's a business. So the building in the middle of your screen was called Rose Cottage, but it is now called 13 Commonside East. And I've got a picture of it here. Let me just try to see if I can do it side by side. It hasn't changed that much. I mean, I don't know if when this picture was taken, but the building hasn't changed that much apart from some bushes in the corner. Yeah, it hasn't really changed, at all, apart from some signage. As I said, this is a business. If you particularly want to know, this building, as far as I could tell by the sign above the door, it helps people write CVs, interview techniques and all that type of stuff. This building was constructed around about the 18th century, and around the year 1920s or around the 1920s, there was supposedly, because this was a house back then, there was supposedly a mischievous spirit that kept on running up and down the stairs and making all this terrible noise and disrupting the residents of this house. Supposedly, this building and all these stories I'm about to tell you are riddled in retellings, exaggerations and rumours. So yeah, it's probably been retold, and about like about Chinese whispers. When you whisper something in someone's ear, then by the time you get to the 50th person, it's completely different. So around the 1920s, or in the 1920s, there was a lady here that was living in this house called Miss Burton. And shortly after Christmas one year, around about 10 o'clock, she went upstairs to get her husband's slippers. I don't know why he couldn't get off his arse and go upstairs and get them himself. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, saying that he was old and he maybe had trouble with his hips and he couldn't move properly. It was either that or he was really lazy. But Miss Burton went upstairs to actually get her husband's slippers for him, and when she came down the stairs, she saw a woman walk from the drawing room, which I'm not sure what that is. I think it's maybe a kind of a recreation room. And she saw this female, as I said, walk from the drawing room to the dining room. And this female didn't look transparent. This female looked solid. And when she went in to investigate, when they both went in to investigate into the dining room to see what was happening, there was no one there. But apart from a strong smell of the scent lavender, there was no one there apart from the smell of lavender that was in the dining room where this lady supposedly walked into. And there was no one there, even in the house apart from them two individuals. So prior to Miss Berta moving in to this house, her aunt used to live here as well prior to Miss Berta moving in. Sorry about cutting all the time, guys. As I said, this is a residential area and people do live around here, and I want to respect people's privacy by not, getting them in this video unless I really have to. But when Miss Berta's aunt was living here, there was all these noises and all that stuff happening as well in this house. So this female ghost, for some weird reason, it doesn't really specify in my guidebook, but she has the name, or was given the name, of Lady Jane. I'm not sure whether someone knew that was the name of this woman or guessed, but she was probably given the nickname of Lady Jane. And I must specify as well that Lady Jane gave off the impression to Miss Burton and the residents of the house that she wasn't evil. She was just a pleasant spectre or ghost. That she wasn't that evil or anything like that. One day they even heard noises upstairs, like someone was running around upstairs. And obviously when they went upstairs, there was no one there and they couldn't find out what was going on. At one time there was a number 13 put on the door of Cottage Row, of a Rose Cottage. There was a number 13 put on the door, and the spectres of this house didn't like that at all. They was causing all these mischief and noises, and pretty much all hell broke loose within the house. There was reports of furniture being moved around the house and being chucked around the house, like drawers and contents of wardrobes being chucked around, but that was just rumours spread around by the newspapers, probably to make it a bit more of a juicy story. But when they removed the number 13 from the door, all the violent occurrences within the house suddenly stopped. But funnily enough, all of the strange noises within the house occurred. And I think that because this building is mostly constructed of wood, apart from the end bit here, which looks like it's mostly made of brick, my guess the majority of the house was made out of wood. If not now, then definitely back then. It definitely would actually make a noise. And one day when the children were playing in the house, specifically in the drawing room. Now remember that this is where the Miss Burton saw Lady Jane walk into and suddenly disappear into the dining room, rather. Oh no, wait, no, she went into the drawing room, and she came out of the drawing room rather, and this is where the children were playing. And she felt that there was some loose floorboards. The floor was loose. And when they investigated, when they ripped up the floor, they found a well. Yes, a well. One of them like brick ones that, you obviously know what a well is. They found a well that was covered up with the floorboards. Underneath the floor. And when the well was filled in, when it was like completely blocked up and filled in, all of the spooky occurrences within the house stopped, and I presume that means all the noises and violent occurrences within the building. So in the 1977, the house was rebuilt, supposedly because of extensive damage to the house. I'm not sure, but the very next year it was turned into offices. And there were instances of one employee, specifically a Miss Maxwell, who experienced loads of spooky and unexplained phenomenon within this house. For example, she smelt the strong smell of lavender, which if you can actually remember, that's the strong smell that Miss Burton smelt when the ghost walked into the from the drawing room into a dining room, and when she went in there, there was a strong smell of lavender, supposedly coming from the ghost Lady Jane. So that's interesting. Not sure what to make of that. I mean, in 1978, I don't know whether air fresheners were invented. There were files and stationery that would mysteriously go missing, and then would strangely turn up in the most obvious of places. And they used to, and the employees of the company used to joke, saying, she must have been the ghost. And one time in the mid-90s, Miss Maxwell was working in the house. It doesn't say whether it was during the day or night, but she heard an almighty crash within the house itself, and she described it as a wall or the ceiling collapsing down. It was an almighty crash, and she described it, as I said, as the wall, as if the wall or the roof collapsed within itself. And when she went to investigate, she couldn't find anything that that would even explain why this was actually happening. She even rushed outside the house and was trying to investigate the local area and to see what was around, and if anything happened, that like maybe some cars crashed or a fox ran into like a like a dustbin. But there was nothing that would explain about why that noise happened. There was nothing that she could find that actually made this almighty crash. Another interesting thing that I even found out was that one day when she was working in the house, her key wouldn't open the door. Her key refused to open the door. It was actually like the lock itself changed, and the key no longer fitted in the lock. So she was locked within the house itself, unable to get out. So when she called somebody to come and basically rescue her from the house and get her out, as soon as they came along, this person, it doesn't really say who they were, probably a friend or a family member, came here, and when they opened the door, the first time that they tried the door, it just miraculously opens without any problem itself, without any difficulty. The door opens without any trouble. And there were instances where when she came here, her key refused to even open the lock. So take that as what you will. I'm not a locksmith. I don't pretend to know anything about locks or anything like that. I don't know whether during time the mechanisms change and it shrinks or expands or whatever. Loads of people have been going past me, and no one's really cared about what I'm doing, so that's good. So anyway, one day Miss Maxwell saw this glass of water, presumably was on her desk, and she saw it actually move. So take that as what you will. Old house, floorboards may go uneven, glass may slide off the table, and she even described the ghost as being friendly but mischievous. And when this book was released during 2001, there were apparently no more ghostly reports within this building. So some dark history about this house. Again, this is all speculation, guys, but there was once a murder committed around this area. It was either happened within this house or in the house number 15. I haven't looked around this area. I might look around it after I film this section. But supposedly there was a murder either committed within this house or in the long demolished number 15. Again, I don't know if number 15 is around this area, but I'll have a quick look without being too weird about it, and seeing if number 15 still is here, Probably has been moved or reconstructed within that time. But supposedly the murder victim was thrown into the well and disposed of that way. Again, this is just rumours, guys. I want to specify now that the well within the house, within the drawing room itself, under the floorboards within the drawing room, where I want to remind you guys, where Miss Burton saw this apparition, this ghost coming out from, that well was here within this house, or at the bottom of this house, or underneath this house, or however you want to put it. So that actually existed. That was actually here. But whether the body or a dead body was thrown into the well, that's up for debate. It's plausible. It's one way of disposing of a corpse, I guess. But it was just a rumor. It wasn't proven. It was just a rumor that people were talking about. It wasn't found. It was just something that people talked about probably back then. Also, in 1894, a man called James Canham Reed was arrested within this building for the murder of his mistress, or girlfriend, or whatever you want to put it as, called Florrie Dennis. Now, Reed was hanged for this, and supposedly the murder weapon, which was a revolver, which was never found, but again, by rumours, it was rumoured that the murder weapon was thrown into the well as well, to dispose of it. Now, funnily enough, when the well was discovered by Miss Burton, the builders filled it in, but they never really looked in the well properly to see whether there was a corpse and or a gun within the well before they filled it in. They never did that. So I guess the well was still in this house. Who actually knows? It probably isn't like, it probably doesn't look like the well from the remake of It, but probably the hole still exists within this house. Yes, it is filled in, but it is probably still here, and who knows, maybe there's a corpse somewhere down here within, and a gun that was used to murder someone. I mean, I actually really don't know. I also want to specify again, guys, that I mean, it's only speculation whether a corpse or a gun was thrown into the well. The well itself actually existed. Whether the corpse and the gun existed within the well was never proven. Now, guys, I just want to talk about James Canham Reed, who, if you can't remember, he's the one that actually murdered one of his mistresses or girlfriends, and supposedly threw the murder weapon, which was a gun, down the well within the building itself. Whether the building was actually here at the time, probably not. If he chucked it down the well, it probably wasn't built back then, and then the house was built on top of it. Quite funny how the builders actually did that, building a house on top of a well. You know, you probably said, "Oh, well, you know, who's actually going to notice?" You know. But James was a very charming, handsome person, and he was a ladies' man. He had 3 women who he was having affairs with, on top of being married to his wife. And he also had about 9 children as well. So James was definitely getting his second breakfast pretty much every single day with 4 females that he was having affairs with. Well, 3 was having affairs with, and 1 he was married with, and having 9 children, supposedly with numerous women as well. In 1893, one of his female girlfriends, obviously, called Beatrice, fell pregnant, and James was unable to marry her, so because he was married already, he came up with a excuse that she should live in Rose Cottage, which is this building right here, and secretly have the name of Miss Edgar Benson, and supposedly they were living with his wife as well, so that must have been awkward. The baby was born in January of 1894, and James's life, at this point, as you can imagine, it was expensive. Providing for his 9 children and keeping up with all these affairs that he had with women, and it was actually getting too much for him. It was getting too much for him. All these clothes and all this food and expenses must have been really, like a lot and too much for him back then. And he even learns that Florence, and who was the woman that he murdered, got pregnant too. So when Florrie's mother heard about this, she was so outraged she sent her to live with Florrie's sister, who, unknown at the time, also had an affair with James. So it seemed that James probably slept with the whole of Mitcham by the sounds of it. And then she was constantly asking James for more money and to provide for her. And then one day he must have finally just snapped, and he decided to kill her on the 24th of June. Her body, she wasn't killed here. She was killed somewhere else. So she wasn't the corpse down the well. But she was killed somewhere else outside of Rose Cottage, miles away, and she was shot in the head, and she was shot so close in the head that gunpowder residue was found on her skull. So after this, James returned to live in Rose Cottage under the name of Edgar Benson. I don't know who Edgar Benson is or was. Presumably a friend or an acquaintance of James, and he just took up the name. But he came back to live in Rose Cottage with one of his girlfriends, not his wife, one of his girlfriends, and he made up a whole different identity for himself, and he just changed his whole life. And then one day he was arrested within Rose Cottage by Inspector Baker of Scotland Yard for obviously the murder of Florrie. James was given the nickname or the title of the South End murderer, and the trial supposedly was a big deal. Everyone was talking about it, but the jury only had to take half an hour to make a decision to say, right, James is guilty of the murder of this murder, and he's guilty. And so James Camden Reed was hung at Springfield Prison on the 4th of December 1894. So that is the story of Rose Cottage and the ghosts and all the creepy occurrences within this house. And it's a kind of a scary building. I can't lie. It's definitely an old building, and it was very creepy to read all these stories. I mean, I don't know if Lady Jane still is in this building. And what I kind of find funny is that the 13 is still on the door. Number 13 is still on this house. So has that upset any of these ghosts within this house, or has any of these people living or actually working in this building have experienced any creepy things happening within this building? It's kind of interesting when you think about it. Does the ghost still reside? Does Lady Jane still reside within this house? And has anyone experienced any spooky occurrences within this building? So that's been my video, guys. Don't know how much of a pain in the arse this is gonna take to edit. But let me know if you have enjoyed this video. Sorry about it. I've been trying to like read my little book and try to give you as much information as I can with respecting other people. No one has come out of this building to tell me to go away or ask me what I'm doing, so that's good. And let me know again if you've enjoyed this video. If you have, and if it's gone well, and if I feel like it, then I might do other videos about this. And please let me know if you have any feedback of stuff that I could do different. Again, sorry about all the noise of the cars and the ducks and all that stuff. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. And yeah, I've done my best. As I said, I was inspired to do this video from BADisRAD2, so don't forget to check her out. This video is entirely BADisRAD2's fault. But hopefully you had fun with this video, guys. It was definitely interesting, and I'm glad I got up and decided to film it. So yeah, I'll see you around, guys. Bye.